My apologies to loyal followers for not being around the past couple of days, but to be honest with you, I've been feeling kind of run down and just a little fatigued, and not a good combination when you're battling leukemia. So, a suggestion for you, because listen, I don't have anything to sell you. I'm not going to be soliciting you for anything. But that little button down there in the corner, you may want to subscribe to the channel so you get a little alert when I launch a video. Because I had been pretty damn consistent over the previous 3 or 4 weeks, and I will try to remain doing so. Now, this game between New Orleans and the LA Chargers tonight. I handicapped the game. I have an opinion on the game, but I can't say I'm in love with the game. And you know the deal. If I'm not putting money on it, I'm not releasing the play. And you know I have been red hot. And before I get to the selection, let me just say this. Now, on Saturday, for the third straight Saturday, I had a raise the bar 30-dime release in college football. And after cashing in the previous 2 Saturdays with Miami of Florida over Florida State, and on the next Saturday with SMU over Memphis, I came out with Florida against Texas A&M. And of course, the Gators just, couldn't play any defense, and they made the Aggies actually look like a good team, at least for one afternoon in College Station. So I lost the play. And my advice to you is this. You're going to lose big plays. It's going to happen. And I've said this before. The greatest thing you can do if you're a gambling neophyte or somebody who's never placed a bet and you're considering making your first one, accept the fact you're going to lose, accept the fact you're going to lose often, and accept the fact sometimes you're going to lose really big. Now, the thing you've got to do is get up off the floor and not be afraid to bet again. In other words, have some balls. Really. I have seen so many handicappers, so many gamblers afraid to make the next big wager after they lose. You saw yesterday, I came right back with the play that matched my biggest play of the year in the NFL, a third straight raise the bar 20-dime release. And I've told you many times over the years how I have a difficult time going on or against the team that I have grown up watching my entire life, the Philadelphia Eagles. But when I saw that line with the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday only laying 7 points against the Eagles, and I know the Eagles are a bad team, I was in. I was all over the Steelers, and they got the job done. Again, quite simply, you got to have balls. You can't bet scared. Scared money never finds a home in your pocket. Geez, has somebody ever said that before? I think I'm going to use that phrase from now on. Let me write that down. Scared money never finds a home in your pocket. Okay, that is going to be Al DeMarco's new favorite phrase. So, coming into today, I'm going to take a pass on this game and give it to you instead here and break it down for you. Because the bottom line, I'm 11-3 in football this season. I've won 18 of my last 27 plays. I'm 8-1 in the NFL. And I don't force plays, because if you force plays, you're bound to lose. Quick little note, that quirky little stat I've told you about repeatedly, how something I've looked at over the last 12, 15 years or so, that the first 8 to 10 weeks of the regular season in the NFL, if you can simply pick the straight up winners of games in advance, we'd all make a fortune. We'd be mega millionaires. Oh, geez, how did it do this week, Al? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it went 10-2 against the spread. And now, through the first 5 weeks of the season, going into tonight's game and tomorrow's game, the straight up winners, 60 wins, 12 losses, 2 pushes. 60 wins, 12 losses, and 2 pushes. In terms of favorites and underdogs, yesterday, again, a 6-6 split. 4 of those 6 underdogs won outright. So for the year, going into tonight's game, the favorites have a slim 2-game advantage against the underdogs. And I mentioned in one of the reports last week, just the last 3 weeks alone, 6 of the 8 underdogs won outright, 5 of the 6 underdogs won outright, 4 of the 6 underdogs won outright. Something that you often should consider. If it's an underdog that you really like and there is a favorable take-back price of betting that dog on the money line, you might want to consider a secondary play. Not the best bet, but a secondary investment, a smaller wager, if there's a significant take-back price on the money line. Because you will see more often than not, those underdogs win outright. It happens. Again, first 8 to 10 weeks of the season. And I'll keep updating these numbers as we go. Monday nights, you will hear so many guys in this business. Oh, bet the Monday Night Dogs. The Monday Night Dogs, they always come in. Malarkey. This year, favorites and underdogs, 3-3. You will find occasionally over the years there will be streaks where dogs or favorites will have a decided advantage. But over the past 20 years, it's almost a dead heat in terms of favorites and underdogs covering. The one significant trend I can tell you this year is that the under has cashed 5 of the first 6. So with all those numbers coming in, let's take a look here. You've got a 7-point number here tonight. Michael Thomas still out for New Orleans. What can I say about the Saints? The last time they were home, they lost outright to Green Bay. They weren't even really competitive in that game. The offense has scored 30 or more in 3 of the 5 games. The problem is this defense has not played well for the Saints. Now, they do have a lot of injuries that we have to certainly take into consideration. Drew Brees has had problems pushing the ball downfield. Is it because he's been without Michael Thomas now for a 3rd straight game? Or is it because the arm strength is not what it once was? I thought it was interesting last week in the win at Detroit, where, FYI, in case you didn't read the box score, the Saints fell down 14-0 at Detroit before reeling off the next, was it 35 straight points? And then hung on for the 35-29 win. They ran the ball 42 times in that game. They've only done that 14 times since the year 2000. You know what year it is now, right? Alvin Kamara had a big game, 19 for 83. Even Latavius Murray got involved in the ground game, 14 carries for 64 yards. Now, you know what's going on with the Chargers. Listen, the rookie quarterback has played some great ball. I mean, last week against Tampa, where I had the Buccaneers, I brought down the half point. I won with Tampa, 20 for 25, 3 touchdowns. The problem in that game, it was a 38-31 win for Tampa because Tom Brady, 5 touchdown passes against that Chargers defense as he rallied the Bucs from a 17-point first half lead. Chargers defense allowed 484 yards in that game. Brady, 30 for 46, 5 touchdowns, not sacked one time in that game. Think about this Chargers defense. The week prior, they lost 21-16 at home to Carolina. In that game, Teddy Bridgewater, 22 for 28, 235 yards, 1 touchdown. Remember what Patrick Mahomes did to them in week number 2. Shredded them for 414 yards. Now they're in the Superdome taking on Drew Brees. May not be the Drew Brees of a couple of years ago, but he's still Drew Brees. The Chargers offense is going to have some problems. That offensive line is missing a starting tackle and a starting guard. Mike Williams is questionable. Their top wide receiver, again, missed last week's game because of a hamstring injury. Defensively, Joey Bosa battling a triceps and a knee injury. Questionable, didn't practice Thursday. Was in the same boat going into the Tampa game, but did play almost 85% of the snaps. Saints defensive injuries. Their top defensive end, Marcus Davenport, hasn't played a game all season. Questionable, may make his season debut here tonight. They've got a lot of injuries. One other significant injury, however, to point out for San Diego. Austin Eckler, who was averaging 5.1 yards a carry this year, who had 1,500 total yards from scrimmage last year, is on the injured reserve list. I still think the way to play this is to go ahead and take New Orleans. This Saints team, I think, will be able to put points on the board against the Chargers. I look at this Chargers defense and I see that they are unable to generate a consistent pass rush because remember, Melvin Ingram is on the injured reserve list. They are down a couple of key defensive backs, so their secondary is injury riddled. I think that the Saints will be able to control time of possession, and I just think the Saints are the way to go. Again, not a great play, but I do like the Saints. Let's talk about the NLCS Game number 1 tonight. I like the Dodgers. I'm not going to play the Dodgers on the run line, but I do like the Dodgers, even though you have to lay $1.40 in this game. I think that's the way to go. Rather than taking the run line price, a significantly better price, I would go with the Dodgers. Listen, what's going to happen tonight is Walker Buehler is going to give them probably 4 innings again because of that blister on his finger. That's about what you're going to get out of him. But then when you look at what the Dodgers can run out there, it's pretty damn good until they get to Kelly Jansen. God forbid if they got to bring Kelly Jansen in. But he's probably lost the closer's job, so I think we're pretty safe. I know that Max Fried has been pretty much the Braves ace here of late, but he had a miserable game in his only outing against Miami, against the Marlins in the last round of the postseason. In fact, I'm just looking it up here. I had it up on my screen, and I wanted to tell you what he did in that game. And it was last Tuesday, 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs allowed. Yes, he was very good against the Reds in his previous start, 7 innings, 6 hits. Shutout innings they were. But I just think that this is a great place to take the Dodgers in game number 1. Remember, the Dodgers did play in Texas during the regular season. I think that's advantageous as well. I know the Dodgers didn't hit in the last round of the postseason against San Diego. They were pretty powerless in terms of not being able to rely on the long ball, which they did so well during the regular season. But I do like them in game number 1 as well tonight. I actually like that more than the Saints. So the Dodgers straight up on the money line would be my favorite pick tonight. The Saints would be number 2. That'll do it, guys. I wish you well, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.